Hello friends and welcome to the world of science. In this video we are going to see standard 10th science 2 chapter number 6 animal classification. This is the first lecture of this chapter. Myself Kavita Kobarne from Gokhale Education Society's HL High School is going to present this to all of you. Students, you know the living world or the living organism present around us are mainly plants and animals. We have studied the criteria of their classification. We have classified them on the basis of basic characteristics such as presence or absence of nucleus, unicellular or multicellular body, presence or absence of cell wall, and the mode of nutrition in them. According to that, this classification chart is completed. So in that, first we will see prokaryote and eukaryote. Prokaryote, that means the living organisms whose nucleus is not well defined. They don't have the membrane around it. We can't identify them separately. They comes in prokaryote. And eukaryote means the living organisms whose nucleus is well defined. Nucleus is covered properly and other organelles you can see it properly. Now prokaryotes, it is again divided according to the number of cells. So prokaryote is divided into kingdom Monera, and eukaryote it is divided into two categories, that is unicellular and multicellular, that is depend on the number of cell. So now here you can see the unicellular organisms are of two, that is of eukaryote type and prokaryote. In prokaryote organisms, they are coming in kingdom Monera, and the eukaryotic unicellulars and organisms comes in kingdom Protista. Multicellular organisms, it is again divided into two subcategories based on the cell structure, that is presence of cell wall and without the cell wall it is. Then the cell wall type of organisms, it is again on the basis of the nutrition. They are divided into two, that is autotrophs and heterotrophs. And without cell wall, they comes in the kingdom Animalia. Now autotrophs means the organisms those preparing their own food, and heterotrophs means those animals or organisms that depend on other as a food for the food. Now autotrophs come is categorized as kingdom Plantae, and heterotrophs they are considered as a kingdom Fungi. So like this 5 kingdom classification is given by Dr. R. Whitaker to us. In previous standard, we have done the study of classification of plants. Now in this standard, we are going to do the study of animal classification. According to the studies, estimated number of animal species on earth is approximately 7 millions. So it is highly impossible to study each and every species. So however, if groups and subgroups of animals are formed depending upon the similarities and differences, it will make it very easy to study such vast varieties of animals. Time to time, different scientists have tried to classify animals. Aristotle, Theophrastus, Pliny, John Ray, Linnaeus, these scientists, they did the classification of animals on the basis of body size, habits and habitats. And this they have given the name as artificial method of classification of animals. Next, Dobzhansky and Mayer, these scientists also tried the classification of animals. The basis of classification was body organization, types of cells, chromosomes, biochemical properties. And the method they gave the name as natural system of classification of animals. Carl Woese, he also did the classification of animals. Basis for classification of animals is presence or absence of notochord, and the method which the name it is given as traditional method of classification of animals. Like these different methods of classification of animals was proposed by different scientists. We will see the benefits of animal classification. First one, study of animal becomes convenient. Study of few animals from group helps us to understand about that entire animal group. Third one, it gives idea about animal evolution, how they come up. The fourth one, animals can be easily identified with the great accuracy. It helps to understand the relationship of animals with the other living organisms. It helps to understand the habitat of each animal and its exact role in nature. It helps to understand various adaptations shown by animals. So like this, the animal classification has benefited a lot to do the detailed study of these animals. Traditionally, depending upon presence or absence of notochord, the animal kingdom has been divided into two groups, notochord and non-chordates and chordates. We will see the chordates and their characteristics. First one, body is supported by notochord. Notochord means what? It is a long rod-like supporting structure present on dorsal side of animal body, and it keeps the nerve tissues isolated from remaining body. See in the picture, you can see the notochord. Pharyngeal gills, slits or lungs are present for respiration. Third characteristic is nerve cord is present on the dorsal side, that is near the surface of the body. It is hollow. It is empty. Heart is present on ventral side of body. Ventral means inside side of the body, means lower part. Here you can see the gill slits and heart is not shown but it is there. Next group is non-chordates. Now here we will see the characteristics of non-chordates. First one, body is not supported by rod like notochord, so they are flexible. Pharyngeal gill slits are absent, so for respiration they are not using this. Nerve cord, if present, it is on ventral side, that is inside or the lower side. It is solid and paired. Heart, if present, it is on the dorsal side. Dorsal side means upper side, or you can say near the surface. Like this, the characteristics of non-chordates. This is the taxonomy of giving the name or classification of animals. Kingdom. Kingdom is divided into phylum, then class, order, family, genus and species. Now in this standard you have to learn about the kingdom in which they are divided into phylums, different types of phylums, and the phylum other next it is further divided into different classes. So this much only you have to study in this standard. To remember the sequence of this taxonomy, there is a shortcut. See here. Keep ponds clean or frogs get sick. So the initial letters of that, it is matching with the taxonomy's name. So in short, it is KPCOFGS. We will see the classification of chordates and non-chordates in different phylum. Chordates is divided into phylum, that is chordata. Subphylums are three: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Okay, and it is Vertebrata is again divided into six classes, that is the class Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Now the non-chordates. Non-chordates phylum, it is divided into first one Protozoa, second Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Escalominthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. Like this, it is divided into 10 phylum. Non-chordata is divided into 10 phylum and chordata is divided into 3 phylums. In 1969, Robert Whittaker gave the 5 kingdom classification, that is kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Now we are going to see the animal classification. For that classification, the criteria for classification he has chosen is body organization, body symmetry, body cavity, germinal layers and body segmentation. These are the criteria used for classification of kingdom Animalia, which we are going to study one by one now. Now we will see the first criteria, that is the body organization. Body of animals is made up of cells. In case of multicellular organisms, many cells are performing different functions in their body, while in unicellular, only one cell is performing all the functions. So body organization of unicellular animals is referred to as a protoplasmic grade organization. Here you can see the paramecium and amoeba. It is unicellular. Their nutrition, digestion, respiration, reproduction, all the work is performed by the single cell. So they comes in the protoplasmic grade. Next one is the cellular grade. In this, the organisms, in this the multicellular animals, if tissues are not formed, their body organization is called as a cellular grade organization. So no tissues no cellular coordination, but still they can survive. That level, that grade is called as a cellular grade of organization. Example is sponges. In case of some animals, cells come together to form tissues with the help of which all the body functions are performed. Such animals shows cell tissue grade organization. See in front of you here the jellyfish is there. So separate tissues are there and there well established coordination among the tissues. They can perform their different function with different tissues. Next is tissue organ grade. In this type of organization, tissues are organized to form some organs. However, complete organ system are not formed. Example is planaria. Some organs are there. So here it is given complete organ system is not there. They can perform their different activities with the help of different tissue and different organs. Besides the four types of body organization mentioned here, remaining all animals show organ system grade organization, in which different organs are joined together to perform organ system that perform the specific function. So like this, in your body you have the digestive system, excretory system, like this. The organs are connected and they are performing specific function. Here we can give the example as human, frog, crab also. Next criteria of animal classification is body symmetry. In imaginary sense, if body of any animal is cut through that imaginary axis of body, it may or may not produce two equal halves from that axis if we will consider. And if it is not divided into two halves, that is only the criteria which is used for classifying. So in according to that, it is classified as asymmetrical and symmetrical body. So here in front of you the symmetrical bodies examples are given. So if you imaginary lines you will consider it, in that you can see that the body is divided into two halves. So these type of animals or living organisms comes in symmetrical body organization. This is also called as a bilateral symmetry. In this type of body there is only one such imaginary axis of body through which we can get two equal halves. So here cow, human, butterfly, fly, beetle, they are the examples of bilateral symmetrical body. Next type of symmetry is radial symmetry. In this type of body, if imaginary line cut passes through central axis but any plane of body, it gives two equal halves. Example, here the starfish is given. In case of these animals, there are five different planes passing through central axis of body through which we can get two equal halves. So here the coral, polyp and the starfish example, you can understand it better. Next one is the asymmetrical body. In case of such body, there is no any such imaginary axis of body through which we can get two equal halves. Example here amoeba, paramecium, sponges. Here we can't get two exactly half. So no axis, imaginary axis will be there. So they comes in asymmetrical bodies. Next criteria for classification of animal is germ layers. In case of multicellular animals, germ layers are formed during initial period of their embryonic development. In the figure, you can see the embryo and the three layers are formed in them. From those germ layers only different tissues are formed in the body. And then these tissues, they start forming the different organs and all these things. In case some animals only have two germ layers, that is endoderm and ectoderms are formed. So example is cnidarian, jellyfish, coral. Now in this ectoderm forms the skeleton and endoderms they forms the inner lining of organ. Now the next one is which is having the three germ layers ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Here also ectoderm it helps in forming the skeleton, endoderms it helps in forming the inner lining of organ, and the mesoderm it just forms different or it develops into different organs. So the tissues, then their tissues become organ. So these three layers is present in multicellular organisms. They come in triploblastic. Those who are having two, they are diploblastic, and those who are having three layers, they are called as a triploblastic animals or organisms. Next criteria for classification of animal is body cavity. Cavity between the body and internal organ is called as a body cavity, or it is called as a coelom. In case of multicellular animals, during initial period of their embryonic development, body cavity is formed from either mesoderm or gut. Such type of body cavity is present in animals of phylum Annelida and all phyla coming under the Annelida. This coelom or the body cavity is divided into three parts or three groups: eusolmate, pseudosolmates, and asolmates. Coelomate. First one is eocelomate. In that, the body cavity is present. In the diagram, you can see the mesoderm, body wall, mesoderm, and the gut wall is there. So, the body cavity is formed by mesoderm or maybe by gut wall. Next is pseudocoelomate. In this, the living organisms, they do not form body cavity during initial period of formation or in the embryonic stage. Example is a cell helminthus. Last one is a coelomate. Here, totally body cavity is absent. Examples are Porifera, Platyhelminthes, and Cnidaria. Last criteria for animal classification is body segmentation. If the body of animals is divided into small or similar units, then such body is called as a segmented body, and each small unit is called as a segment. Example, earthworm from the phylum Annelida. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you must have liked this. You must have understood the chapter. We will be meeting soon in the next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe.